Hey everyone, just a quick ask before we get into the newscast. If you really like Wake Up, I would love it if you gave us 5 stars on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and drop a quick comment there to let people know about this newscast. It would really help people discover us. All right, on with the news. Wake up, Cincinnati. I'm Matt Peiken, and this is your local newscast for Wednesday, February 11th. Cincinnati more than doubled its fully affordable housing construction between 2020 and 2024, adding nearly 1,400 income-restricted apartments, up from 678 in the prior 5-year period. Still, advocates warn the pace remains far too slow to address a regional shortfall of up to 54,000 affordable units. Only 10% of local apartment construction during that time was income-restricted. Analysts credit the city's 2024 Connected Communities zoning reform and Hamilton County's $30 million investment with spurring progress. Yet, Cincinnati still trails Columbus, Cleveland, and Dayton in relative affordable housing output. Read more about this in The Inquirer. Northern Kentucky's healthcare system is bracing for disruption as federal policy changes could force dozens of hospitals to close. At this week's Eggs and Issues Forum hosted by the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, experts warn that Medicaid cuts from last year's H.R. 1 legislation could reduce margins for hospitals starting in 2027. Rural facilities are most at risk, with up to 30 closures predicted statewide. Leaders from St. Elizabeth Healthcare and Cincinnati Children's Hospital say telehealth and better insurer collaboration could ease pressures, but warn that workforce shortages and student loan caps remain major concerns. Hear more about this at WVXU. Who says you can't get a pothole filled around here? Cincinnati crews have already patched over 3,100 potholes this year, continuing the city's aggressive effort to combat road damage caused by harsh winter freeze-thaw cycles. In 2025, workers filled nearly 47,000 potholes, averaging 128 per day, with a surge in February that saw almost 20,000 repairs. Residents can report issues through an online tool, with more than 90% of requests handled within 12 business days. To boost efficiency, the city has purchased 2 spray injection trucks that allow a single operator to complete repairs. Read more about this in The Inquirer. Dr. David Juice has been named the next director of the University of Cincinnati Cancer Center, effective July 1st. Juice brings extensive experience from the Mays Cancer Center at UT Health San Antonio and is seen as a key hire in UC's long-term goal to secure a National Cancer Institute designation. He'll also lead clinical efforts in radiation oncology and establish a transition clinic for pediatric cancer survivors. His move includes active clinical trials and NIH-funded research, positioning the Center for Growth in Cancer Care and Research. Read more about this in the Cincinnati Business Courier. And in a sharply worded City Beat column, Thomas T. Maddox, a University of Cincinnati finance senior, argues that the city's middle class is quietly shouldering the burden of poor financial decisions at City Hall. Maddox points to rising property taxes and hidden fees, settlements like the $8 million payout for 2020 protest arrests, and foggy consultant contracts as symptoms of a deeper accountability gap. He proposes freezing new consultant deals and publishing a public spending dashboard to track performance and responsibility, arguing that governance must reflect the discipline taxpayers live with daily. You can read his column in the City Beat. Our free newsletter is a quick local news digest, essentially this newscast in written form. Subscribe at wakeupcincy.transistor.fm. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at wakeupcincy. And please share this podcast with your friends who care about this city. I'm Matt Peiken. Thanks so much for starting your weekdays with Wake Up Cincinnati.